Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Mariner of Spirit. I'm Greg, I'm your host, and this is brought to you by Supernatural Inc. Entertainment, and it's a great team. So, without further ado, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and mention the few things I normally mention. And number one is the people I support, and number one is PKC, Paranormal Kicks Cancer, with Chris Gaskowski and Alex Wilkinson, and they're from Florida, and they do events. They'll do haunted houses, they'll do haunted locations, and the money that they raise from that all goes to cancer research. So if you get an opportunity, if you run into them, go ahead and say hi for me. They're great people, and I look forward to seeing them soon again. Secondly, it's Tim Miley and Potographs, Tim and Lauren Miley, and they've been doing a lot of great work. Tim used to do it by himself, and then he got married, and he brought his lovely wife in with him, and they've been doing some amazing things on their events. And if you've ever been to a Potograph event, you know how good it's set up. I mean, they're all great events. He's having one this week or last week or one of the weeks very, very soon to this date now. And it's all in Houghton Lakes up in Michigan. And I know that they're all having a great time up there. They always do a great, and all the money that goes to them all goes to animal shelters and animal research and things like that. Save the animals. So the only other thing I mention is the authors, and these are authors that I support from being on the show. And we have Bruce Holliday, Tobias Whalen, Adam Benedict, Kathy Kressel, Barnaby Jones, Sherilyn Carter, Dr. Heatherly Langdon, Lynn Monet, Ron Iacovetti, Victoria Munday, Tony Rathman, Natalie Jones, Patty Negri, Sylvia Schultz, Amelia Cotter, Rex Nielsen, David Sloan, Christina Bloom, D.A. Wysong, Joseph Hellant, and Dr. Rebecca Foster. And without further ado, since I'm done with that kind of thing, I'm really excited tonight to have a very special person on. It's a lady that I've known for quite some time. We've never had an opportunity to cross paths like this, and we're doing it tonight. So without further ado, I want to bring in Jenny Davis. You want to? Can you be called Jennifer, or you stick with Jenny?
Jenny.
Jenny. Okay, Jenny.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it's great to have you here. I know that you're a very multitasked individual. You have all these different things that you do.
Yes.
I know you're a paranormal investigator, and I know you've been to a million locations. Have you ever been to any locations outside of the country?
No, not yet.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
What would be your first location that you'd want to do outside of the United States?
It would probably have to be Leap Castle in Ireland.
So you want to go to the area, huh?
Yep. I want to go to Ireland. I want to go to Scotland, England, all those places. It's
pretty cold over there sometime,
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. I know Jenny Sullivan, right?
The name sounds familiar.
She's in Ireland, and I do a few shows with her every once in a while, and she's a really nice lady. If you need to
Oh.
get a hold of her, don't mention you know me though, because that may ruin the whole thing. But anyway, I wanted to start out with that, and I know that besides that, that you do a lot of other things besides, paranormal. But we will get back to the paranormal. But
Mhm.
when we talk about your your photography, and I've seen you for every time I run into you, you're always shooting pictures.
Yeah, yep.
So what would be an average of pictures that you would take per event?
Per event, probably a couple hundred. If I'm at a haunted location, it's probably talking up to 200, 300, 400 pictures because I do it all at different angles, different aspects. I do the weird angles, everything. So, yeah.
What was your best location for your photography?
Oh, I have to say, like from this year so far is New Orleans down in the southern Louisiana. Otherwise, Gettysburg is always very photogenic. Eloise Asylum. Um, I love Eastern State too. So Gettysburg is my heart, though. That's where I love to take photos because you never know. Gettysburg is so big, you never can see it all in one trip. So
Right.
I've been there multiple times, and I still probably haven't hit half of Gettysburg.
I've been there multiple times too, but I started out at 10, and we had an experience there that was just mind-boggling. It was me and my father and my grandmother and my sister and my uncle who was in the army, and we pulled into the park. We pulled into the park, and like I said, I was 10 years old. And my father was one of these people when he pulled into a place that big, that the first parking spot he could get, he would park in and he would never move.
Right.
So he pulled into an area that you're probably familiar with, Reynolds Woods.
Yep.
And it's right there. It's right in the beginning. And he pulled into there, and I remember it was probably about a half hour, 40 minutes after we were there that the wind came in or the wind went out, whatever you want to say. But with that change came a whole bunch of different, all sorts of different sounds. There were horses and there were people screaming and everything all the way down the road. The cannons were going off. You could hear they have the bursts above you.
Yep.
It was insane. And it went on, and then the wind would change, and then it would go away.
Yep.
And this went on all morning.
I was there two or 3 years ago, and we were there right at sunset. And me and my friend heard gunshots. We heard drumming. We heard people in the woods. So that was crazy. And then I've heard like men shouting, like they were in battle at Gettysburg. So it's definitely a creepy but very hauntingly amazing city. Like as soon as you start pulling into Gettysburg, not even before, like probably like 5 miles out of Gettysburg, you just start feeling that energy. And as you pull into the city, you definitely feel like you're just getting pushed right back into town, into that history. Like I was in Virginia City last October, and that is definitely a city that once you pull into, you're taken back to the gold mining, to the silver mining era. They try to keep it as close to that era as possible. And since I've been to Virginia City, that place has a piece of my heart, and I'm going back next month again to do the Washoe Club again. So I'm excited.
Well, that's a great place to go to.
Mm-hmm. It is. My friend and I, we had a private there last October, and me and him decided to go down the boardwalk to get pizza at like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. And everybody else was in the museum aspect. The bar was closed. It was very quiet in town. And we came back to the doors to go up the stairs to go back into like the museum, because you have to walk through the Washoe Club, back down outside and into the museum aspect. And we had just opened the door, just walked in, and all of a sudden we heard a woman say, "Hello." And we're like, is anyone in here screwing on with us? Are you trying to play a joke? Like, who's in here trying to pull one on us? And we looked at the whole building. We're like, no one's here. So we went back to where everyone else was. And they're like, no, we've been down here the whole time. What is going on? And we're like, we just heard a female voice say hello. And we couldn't find anything. We couldn't find anyone or anything when we did our search. And that night we were hearing voices. We were hearing shadows. We were chasing footsteps. And then a couple days later, I was at Tara and Ryan's event, the Washoe Con, and me, Aaron Sagers, and Richard Estep and MJ were doing the same thing. We were chasing shadows, we were chasing voices, footsteps, everything. So the Washoe Club had definitely captured my heart that weekend. And I'm like, before we even left that weekend, me and my friend looked at each other and said, when are we going back? When are we coming back? How fast can we come back? And can we book the Washoe? And we had it booked before we even left Virginia City that weekend.
Aaron Siggers is quite an individual, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. I love Aaron. He's amazing.
He's a great guy.
I love picking his mind.
Thomas Patrick's here.
Hello.
And so is Nancy Noonan Kelly and Barbara Spear.
Welcome in.
Great to have you guys.
But
Patrick, Thomas does that show on, how would you say, not really detective work, the post, the murder type thing.
Okay, yeah.
And he's done like 3 episodes already, and I'm getting it all wrong, Thomas. I apologize. But it gets you, and it makes you sit there and listen. And he gives all the ways of making it work, and he's really great at what he does. And he's been around for quite some time.
Right.
And there's Starseed Paranormal. He's listening.
Nice.
Profile. That was the word that I was missing. Thanks, Thomas Patrick. But when you really go ahead and back in the day, and you were a little younger, did you still pursue? How long have you been actually ghost hunting now?
My first ghost hunt was 2010, so 16 years, but I've been in it longer than that. I started by watching Ghost Hunters. Like, the most cliche answer was Ghost Hunters got me started. Watching Jason and Grant and the whole team got me really interested. And then GHI came out, and Brandy Green from that show is actually from Minnesota, still lives in Minnesota. She hosted an event here in Minnesota in 2011, 2010 actually, where I met her and Rob from the show. And that really got me into it because that was my first investigation. And ever since, I've been all over the country now.
So you've been out to the big battleships on the East Coast, haven't you?
I've been to USS North Carolina, which I'll be back there next weekend. I investigated that last year for the first time, and we got a really crazy Class A EVP down in the infirmary. I've been to USS Salem. I've never investigated it yet. It is on my bucket list. But USS North Carolina is a crazy active location. Like, we were chasing shadows, we were chasing voices. We asked because my friend had injured her foot or something the day of, and we're like, does she need her leg amputated? And the EVP is like, yeah, needs to be amputated. Clear as day. I was like, well, get up here. Let's get it cut off. The doctor's going to cut it off for you.
I've been on a few warships, but they were all up in Puget Sound and in Washington State and Bremerton. And I was always interested, and I still am. And my dad was in destroyers in World War II and was sunk off Okinawa.
Oh, wow.
And all of it is related, because the reason I wanted to go on this destroyer there in Bremerton was I wanted it because he was a helmsman when he wasn't on a aircraft, anti-aircraft gun. And I wanted to see what the bridge was. And this destroyer that was there was one that was the next school of destroyers. In other words, it brought in 45, and then it worked all the way through Vietnam.
Right.
So I got a big, I got a great feeling on where he was when they were under fire and everything like that. And I know the whole story, and I'm not going to mention it now, but it was just something that I could relate to. And that's why I was interested in going on like a battleship like the North Carolina, because they're just humongous.
They are. We went in last year. I don't know if it's going to happen this year. I don't know exactly which areas they're going to open up to us this year. We went into the torpedo room where the torpedo hit, and it was crazy because to get down to where that was hit in that room, you literally have to step over big barricades. You have to grind yourself into the deep ends of that ship. And we were hearing like men running, like they were running through water. They were screaming. They were telling us to get out, like we were in danger. So yeah, I can't wait to go back next weekend with Booze on the Battleship that Katie McVeigh runs out in Wilmington, North Carolina. So I'm excited to go back there to see what we experienced this year. But the night before Booze on the Battleship, I'll actually be doing Cabin 360 out in Virginia. So I'm super excited about that.
Is that the one up there in Virginia? Is that the New Jersey?
It's not New Jersey. So Cabin 360 is about an hour or so from Wilmington, North Carolina. It has ties to the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, and different battles. It's literally a cabin on wooden acreage, and then there's like a house next to it that's also haunted. I've heard crazy stories of crazy EVPs, shadows, everything about this location. And I actually run the investigation last year at the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash. So I'm like, if I'm like an hour away, why not do that investigation when I'm down there? So I'll be checking that place out finally this year, next weekend, actually next week.
That would be really, really neat if you do that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I know out of all those big ships and that, it's always neat to be able to be given the opportunity to go in them, but the steel is very unforgiving. So you make one false turn and you run into a bulkhead. You're gonna have a big
if you're not looking towards the ground and you don't see the hole in the ground on the floor of the battleship, you could go down multiple floors of the battleship. So last year was really weird because my flashlight died on me, so I had to use my phone as flashlight. And I'm like, I'm going to die on this ship. I'm going to become a new spirit. Luckily, I did, but you definitely have to watch where you're going on the battleships because there are different little holes in the ground going to different floors of the battleship. Wherever you go, you could potentially drop.
Yeah, they're the ones that survived, Pearl and that at Pearl Harbor, those are the ones that are really, really haunted. And I know the ones that you mentioned are all the same way.
Yeah.
There's a lot of men have lost their lives, especially in the operating rooms and surgery and everything else where they were taking care of them on the ship. Yeah. And that's a hard thing to handle. I know that. So, but so when you're up in Minnesota,
yes,
is there anything around where you live that you like to investigate too on your home ground?
We have the Palmer House now that Dave Schrader owns it. That's a really, really haunted place. I've investigated that multiple times, multiple years. It was actually one of my very first ones. Probably my second or third investigation was there. We have the Grant House, which is a hotel. We have the Anderson House, which is a hotel as well. We have the Mounds Theater, which is a really old theater, but I don't go there much more because it's in a really bad area of town, and I just don't go there. And my friend who used to work there left, so we're like, and I don't really like the new owners, so I don't go there very much. But Minnesota, we have the Boyd House that Shelley owns. She owns the Masonic Lodge down in Illinois as well. Minnesota's lacking for locations, that's for sure.
That Shadow's the one, I can't think of it. The Shadows. It was a location right off the backwaters of the Mississippi, and Greg Bakken used to go there quite a bit.
Yeah, somewhere. I don't remember the name of it, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That's the only place I've been to over there.
The Palmer House is an amazing location. I love that Dave owns it. I just haven't been up since he bought it, but I've had crazy experiences at the Palmer House. One of the last times I've been there, I went with Scotty Work for the very first time with him, and his dad came through me during the Nessus method in the basement. So that was crazy. The spirits of the Palmer were telling Scotty things that no one would know. So that was really, really crazy as well.
Scotty sends his father over here to me to check on me every once in a while. And the only way I know he's been here was because of the aroma of the tobacco, because he smokes.
Right.
And right out of nowhere, I'll get a whiff that goes right in front of me here. I'll be looking on the screen, and then all of a sudden I go, holy crap. Yeah. Scotty's dad is here. I got to talk to him.
Right. Scotty's dad loves to come through me when I'm doing this. We were at Jericho in Wisconsin one day on a private investigation, and I'm in Estes, and I didn't even know Scotty came into the room. He was outside. He was in a different building when we started. It was just me, Larry Eisler, and Nikki in the building, basically by ourselves. And I went under Estes, and I guess Scotty came in sometime during Estes. As soon as he started coming into the room that we were in, Larry said my voice changed. I wasn't the spirits of Jericho anymore. It was Scotty's dad coming through me again. I'm like, I came out of Estes. He goes, do you know who came through you? I'm like, no, dude, I don't remember shit when I go through Estes. Like, when I do Estes and channeling, I don't remember anything. He goes, can you guess who came through you? I was like, were you in this room the whole time? He goes, for the last like 10 minutes. I'm like, let me guess, your dad came through. He goes, yeah, yes, he did. And people who were on that investigation that didn't know Scotty fully came up into the building shortly after him, and his dad started talking about things that were very personal and very non-public. And we had to end that session real quick because he didn't want that information to be publicly known to other people. So Scotty's like, I love when you do S's, but at the same time, we have to do it when no one's around. Like, I can't help what comes through my mouth, Scotty. Like, your dad just said it. I just am the portal, I guess, at this point.
I'm glad you brought him up because he's been a great mentor to me, and he's taught me a lot, and he's saved me numerous times as far as my spirituality is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
And he always keeps me on the right path, and I work with him on Psychics Unite. So
yep, I met Scotty in 2009. Wow. And then we met at Mid-South down in Kentucky. That was hosted by Keith Age. And then I joined Z-Talk, met my husband, met Joe and Kale. I met a lot of people through that network. And then 2013, we were at Mid-South with Scotty and Chris, who was my fiance at the time. He had proposed at Mid-South. We decided, me, my husband, and my mom went to Waverly Hills for just a night tour because they too haven't been, but I had been the year before. And we're like, okay, we're in town. They have tickets available. You guys want to go? Let's go. And I'm thinking, I'm going to be safe. Like, I am not really open to my psychic abilities at that time. I know I have them. I'm somewhat open. And the year before, I really didn't have anything happen to me at Waverly. So we went that night. I was fine on the main floor, fine on the second, fine on the third, fine on the fifth. But as soon as we went down to the fourth floor, my intuition was telling me, don't flip and go. You're going to regret it. Something's going to happen to you. But you're on tour with the tour guide. You have to go where the tour guide goes, right?
Yeah.
And I got to the fourth floor. I was really hesitant to go on. Something in my, like that feeling in your stomach, like if you go, something's going to happen to you. You're going to get something happen. But you're on tour, you have to go. So I saw the nurse on right. I saw the doctor on right, crossing the hallways, checking on patients. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I didn't see that last time. Then we went down to the OR. And as soon as I stepped over that threshold of the OR, and I hadn't known this prior to this, it literally felt like my chest was being ripped open and tubes getting placed in my lungs, which I found out afterwards that was a experiment they tried at Waverly Hills to treat TB, was to open that lung, put tubes in so that fresh air could go into your lungs and the disease can escape. I literally stepped over the threshold. I bent over in tears, crying, screaming, because it literally felt like my lungs and my chest and my rib bones were all being broken and those tubes getting pushed right into my lungs. It took me, after that, 4.5, 5 hours with Scotty to calm down and remove this attachment that was attached to me from Waverly Hills. I hadn't been back since, but this year, 13 years later, I'm going back to Waverly Hills for the first time. And I messaged Scotty when I booked it. I said, you better be you're on my speed dial. He goes, why? I'm like, I'm going back to Waverly Hills. He goes, well, at least now you have 13 years of experience and you know how to shut your shit down.
Right.
Because back then, the first thing he said to me when I went back to the hotel and he saw my face and how I was acting and how shooken up I was, he goes, did you not shut your stuff down? I said, I looked right at him and I was like, you didn't teach me this, Scotty. And he goes to me and goes, "The hell I didn't." I said, "Well, I guess I didn't shut my stuff down." And I had spiritual attachment, and the spiritual attachment from Waverly Hills that night. But it took Scotty, it took Rosalind Brown, Chris Fleming to all get that spirit thing off me that night. So because of Scotty, now I know how to close my
You were still very much traumatized that evening, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. And like I said, I hadn't been back in 13 years because I don't want the same thing to happen again. But I said, screw it, 2026 is my redemption year. So I'm going back in June with a bunch of friends. I'm super excited, but part of me is like, if something like that happens again, y'all find me in my car leaving Waverly Hills. I don't care if you guys stay, but I'll be gone as fast as I can move my happy ass out of the building.
Have you been to Trans-Allegheny too?
I have not. It's on my list. I'm actually might be going in June if I can make it out there for a day tour, because I will be doing hospital on College Hill in June.
Oh, you will. That's a great place.
So I'm excited to go to college on hospital on College Hill. And then I might be doing West Virginia in July, but I'm not quite sure yet.
Yeah, that's that. We did Trans-Allegheny, and then the next day we went ahead that next night we went ahead and we did the college on Old College Hill.
That's how. I'm super excited.
It's really great.
I've heard amazing things from that place, and I'm super excited because I'm like, I will be at FCI Con the day before, and I have 2 nights back at Fairfield, but they had Sunday closed off. So I'm like, what location is close enough that I can drive to on a Sunday and then drive back to Fairfield on Monday? And Hospital College Hill came up. I was like, do it. Let's do it. Because I've heard amazing things. I've seen on so many shows. So I'm excited to go and check that place out for sure.
It wasn't the Fairfield Infirmary, was it?
Yep, that's where I'll be in June. I've investigated that place so many times in the last 2-3 years.
Isn't that down in Iowa?
No, Fairfield is in Ohio. It's in Lancaster, Ohio.
Lancaster?
Yep. Adam Kimmel owns it along with Madison Seminary. He also helps with, Indiana State Sanitarium and Billy Creek Village.
Yeah, that's some cool. Those are some cool locations.
Yeah, and I'll be doing 2 nights at Fairfield in June and 2 nights at Madison in July.
A lot of the ones you mentioned were like 10, 11 years ago now.
Mm-hmm. And then I'll be doing ISS in Billy Creek in August. So,
oh wow!
Adam's gonna get to see me a lot this year, so I'm super excited because last year was the first year I actually met Adam in person after being friends with him on Facebook for 10 plus years. Like every time I went out to his locations, he was called to the other location, or he had a family thing come up. So I messaged him last year. I'm like, I'm coming to Fairfield Con. I'm going to come to FCI Con and ISS Con. We're finally meeting in person. The universe can't have anything to distract us now.
Oh wow, that's great.
Yeah,
that's for sure. So do you actually take a break during the year, or do you just keep on going?
Winter.
You take the winter off?
December, January, February, I'm usually home because I don't want to leave the state. But if there's a snowstorm and I get stuck somewhere, that means time off work and loss of money and stuff. So I usually stay home during the winter months unless I'm local and find somewhere local. Or I go somewhere that's warmer, like Florida.
Where do you like to go in Florida?
I've done St. Augustine. I've done the lighthouse in St. Augustine. I actually did it on Halloween 3 years ago, so that was fun.
You see, we do Key West all the time.
I want to go to Key West. I haven't been down there. I met David Sloan. I want to get down there and see Robert the Doll. So hopefully next year I will.
I have a long, old relationship with Robert.
Nice.
And I've known David really, really good too. And even his general manager, this guy by the name of Dan, is exceptional. I mean, if you get down there, it's awesome.
Right.
We've been going there for a long, long time.
I see Michelle's in the chat. Yes, I will be at
Michelle.
Nevada State Prison in May as well, which I'm super excited about. Me and my friend actually went there last October just to drive past. And one of the board members was there, and he's like, "You want to come in and check the prison out?" I was like, "Sure, why not?" So we got a little glimpse of it last October, and then we did the haunted house thing at the prison last October. And all I can say is I'm not a haunted house person. Like I don't do the jump scares. Like my friend was like, "You gotta come with me. Let's go do it." Because at the end, if you pay the higher price, you get a small ghost tour. I was like, that is what I want. I want the ghost tours. Like that's what I want. I want the spirits. I don't want the jump scares. So I was literally walking through this haunted house in the prison, and it literally goes through the entire prison. I was literally screaming at the actors. I'm like, "Give me the spirits. Give me the ghosts. I don't like this jump scare shit." And I actually found like an exit, one of the after exits, and I tried to escape to get out of that jump scare haunted house. And
did you make it?
No, the actor brought me back in. I'm like, I hate this. Like, I effing hate this. Like, my friend was lucky I didn't jump on his back. But I was screaming and jumping and like running through this haunted house. I'm like, I don't love this. This is the worst thing ever. Like, I was screaming like, "Give me the ghosts. I can handle the ghosts." But you people that are jump scaring me don't like you. Like I had to keep my hands in my pocket because I would have probably thrown hands. I don't do the whole jump scare thing. Like that's not my. Give me the spirits. Give me the ghost hunting. Give me the investigation. Like that doesn't scare me. But people jumping out at you with like fake weapons and stuff. Nope. I'm done. I'm good.
I know Michelle. I had her on quite a few years ago now, and I called her JB, which is to me, and I told her it was Jelly Bean. So every once in a while, if I send her a message, I send it to JB.
Right.
And
I love Michelle.
She's a great lady. Yes, an awesome lady.
I'm excited to do the prison because now she kind of runs the investigating aspect of the prison again. So I'm super excited. I'll see her in May.
You couldn't have anybody better than her.
Right? I love Michelle. She has so much knowledge. I love her. Like me and her are good friends. I'm excited.
That's awesome.
I'm just excited to get back to Virginia City and Nevada. Like the West Coast. I love the ghost house. Like just going back into time. Like Tombstone, Virginia City, Goldfield. I haven't been to Goldfield yet. It's on my top of my list. But that's another place I want to go is Goldfield in Nevada. But I will not stop at the Clown Hotel or Motel, whatever it is.
The Clown.
I don't do the whole clown thing either.
I don't blame you in the least.
Just give me the spirits. Give me the spirits. Give me the ghosts. I don't do the clowns. I don't do the jump scare thing. Like I've been in a room with Annabelle. I was fine, but like the shadow doll from the Warren Museum, nope, I can't do that shadow doll. Hell no, that thing is creepy.
They have Roberts in a big plexiglass case now. I don't know if you saw the pictures that I had,
Yeah.
but I always, the first time I saw him was probably 25 years ago in Key West, and they had an open house, and it was this 3-story skinny house, and it was right by the Pan Am building.
Oh,
And
nice.
and I went in, everybody else was outside. They said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to walk through this house." And I got up to the 3rd floor, and Robert was on a windowsill, just sitting there out. And I just looked, and I just said hi, and I didn't really say hi to him, but he liked it enough to go ahead, and I got something in my head that told me that he was saying hi back and things of that nature. And that was a long time ago. That was before I was even close to going ahead and coming close to understanding things like that.
Right. Like I was with 2 years ago, I did Missouri State Penn where Annabelle.
Yeah.
No, we didn't. They didn't have Annabelle. They had the doll from the movie. They had the shadow doll and a bunch of other worn objects. And I looked at the shadow doll, and all of a sudden I heard the woman's voice or that creepy voice in my head. I'm like, and I'm out. That's my signal to leave. I don't want to hear a haunted item in my head talking about setting something on fire. So I'm out. And I left. I'm like, no. And then I started again at Scarefest last year, and I'm like, and I started hearing it. I'm like, what is up with this freaking creepy shadow doll? Like, I can't do it. But Annabelle, I can look at Annabelle and I feel fine. But that shadow doll from the Warrens Museum, nope. That thing's more creepy than Annabelle.
When you get together and you want to go down and see Robert down in Key West, you have to get a hold of Mr. Sloan.
Yeah, definitely. Like I've met him 3 years in a row at Michigan Paracon before they stopped it. And I'm always like, I need to get down to the Key West. I need to get down there. So I think January, when I'm off ghost hunting, I might go down to the Key West. Because, sun and warm weather sounds better than hanging out in blizzard conditions in Minnesota.
You're learning early, huh?
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Like my friend told me this year, she's like, when you're not ghost hunting, we're going to go on our trip as your Christmas bonus because I do a lot for her. And I said, she's like, where do you want to go? I'm like, the Caribbean. I want to go somewhere freaking warm during the winter months because I ain't doing winter this year. Like, give me warm weather.
It's awesome. That's my number one location. I like that. I like Seattle, Bellevue up there, and because I have a daughter up there.
Oh, nice.
And then, our other kids are all around here by me, but my brother-in-law was always down in the Keys. So we always had the opportunity to spend a lot of great time down there. And I never missed an opportunity to go into town and see where Robert was then. And, I don't know if you heard anything about, how he is, but they still get tons of mail.
Yeah.
Dan is his general manager, and I had him on like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and we were talking, and he was in the museum, and we actually got to see Robert live on the show. So it was great. And, he talked about the letters that they still get of people that screwed up and weren't respectful to him. And they said, "I'm sorry, Robert," and all this stuff. And please don't, bother me anymore. I'm really, really sorry. And I'd like to go ahead and be in your better graces.
Right.
So it turned out to be pretty cool. I know that this is, to a sense, it's something that means a lot to me. And I know that if you ever have any questions on him, you're more than free to go ahead and ask, because I really he's one that I've connected with.
Right. Definitely.
And out of all of them, the other ones I'm not too okay with.
Right. Like,
How you
the
get
whole idea of Annabelle going on tour was crazy. Like, I saw her at Missouri State Penn. I saw her at Scarefest last year. And I was like, this isn't a good idea. Like, Ed and Lorraine never said to take her out on tour for a reason. And now she's going to be at Pennhurst next month. I'm like, think about the location you're taking her to. Like, seriously, like, kids were abused at Pennhurst. Like, adults were abused at Pennhurst. Like, they were not taken care of. And now you're bringing this really haunted item and other haunted items into this location. I don't want any part of that. I don't want it. That's why I'm going to. That's why I'm going to Ohio State Reformatory this year.
Is with who?
Huh?
Who are you going with?
So OSR is hosting their Paracon May 15th to the 17th. I think like Shane, Dave, Cindy will be there. Mike and Chris from the Wraith Chasers. Destin Perry will be there. John Zappas, Satori, and Cody will be there. Many other people. But yeah, I'm glad I'm not doing Pennhurst Paracon this year. I did the last 2 years, but.
How many times have you been to Mansfield?
4 times.
Have you ever done that challenge at 2:00 in the morning up in the third tier in the A part?
I don't think so.
Where you go through
I went last June, and it was hot as shit, and we were all like dying from the heat in that building. And the bats were out. There's a video on TikTok of
the
security cameras. We were literally trapped in the hallway. Like we were working on leaving the building. This was at 2 a.m. or whatever time it was to end the investigation. And we were trying to leave. And all of a sudden we saw a bat flying down the hallway, up and down, up and down. You literally see us looking, running back, looking again. And we finally left, all screaming and shouting and running. And Greg was in the office watching this on security cameras. And we knock on the door, we're like, please tell me you got video of this. He goes, oh yeah, we have it. We're all laughing our asses off in the office because you guys are screaming and running because of a bat.
And
the bat was coming down towards our heads. What were you going to do? So we were all like ducking down, running, screaming, putting stuff over our heads. We didn't get our heads chopped off by a bat flying.
And we can't be together and not bring up Broadhead Manor and Bill. Okay?
Oh yes.
We've got to go ahead and if you have anything to tell Bill right now, just go ahead and do it, because
I love him. I love Bill. I love Broadhead. The spirits of Broadhead don't like me, but that's okay.
Oh, they like you.
You
do the same. You do the same Estes at the big table in the gift room that I do.
Mostly I do it in the principal's office.
Oh, you do? More than in the gift room?
Yes. The principal does not like me. If you turn on the spirit box when I enter the building, you will hear one of two things. You will hear Jenny go to detention. The bitch is back. I will break her. I don't like her. So he's gotten to the point, him and the janitor like to make me sick. They throw things at me. And and I get told to go to detention, and I tell them, no, I've never gone to detention. I've never survived detention at Broadhead Manor. So the principal does not like me, and the janitor does not like me. And I have a theory when it comes to those two spirits. They are just from the time period that women should not be heard, but they should be seen. I am one of those ladies who doesn't go by that meaner. I like to be vocal. I like to be my dominant personality that I am. So I go in and I'm like, spirits, I'm here to talk with you. And the very second time I was there, second or third time, it was filming with Larry and Dan from Expedition Entity.
Yeah.
And Bill, we were up in the principal's room, and it was a little quiet. And Bill called out the principal by his name, which he does not like to be called out by his name. And through the Phasm box, it said, "I will break the girls." Jenny Coles got sick, and then I got sick.
Wow.
And ever since, he will call me out saying, "Jenny, go detention. Jenny, detention. I don't like her. She's a bitch." And other things. And you could have spirit boxes going all different floors of Broadhead at the same time. And all you will hear if I'm in the building from each floor is, "Jenny, go to detention. Jenny, detention. Jenny, detention." So Bill actually last July got me a t-shirt that she says, "I did not survive detention at Broadhead Manor." I have the only one of those t-shirts because I am the only one that has not survived detention at Broadhead.
That's really cool. It must be a really cool t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever wear it?
Oh yeah, I always wear it. I always wear it because it's so special. It's the only one. Because every time I try to do my solo or anything in with the principal, he makes me sick. He throws things. He will make me leave. He will literally make me sick. Like, I will throw up in Broadhead if I'm dealing with the principal. The janitor does not like me because, again, women should be seen, not heard. And I am a dominant personality. So,
well, they could be accommodating too. You know what I mean?
Yep.
If you treat them, it's like sugar and bees, or honey or whatever you want to call it. You can be as sweet as pie.
Yeah, I'm sweet. I'm not disrespectful on investigations. I don't call out. I don't provoke, nothing like that. But those two spirits don't like my personality, which is fine. I'm like, I don't really like you either. Can we just be on a mutual foundation of you not making me sick anymore? But as soon as I lay down my head in the principal's office, before I do, I say, "Okay, this is my room now. You can go in the hallway or to another room. I'm going to lay my head down. You're not going to talk with me. You're not going to throw things at me. You're not going to hurt me. And I can get my best sleep at Broadhead."
Right.
As soon as I say those words, he will leave the room. But if I'm like investigating his office or anywhere else in the building, all of a sudden I become very sick. It's because the principal's in here and he doesn't like me. Like Christy says, I may not be the cup everyone's cup of tea.
Oh, have you met Christy? She's from Australia, isn't she? Or New Zealand?
I am not.
She's from you're from New Zealand or Australia, Christy? I can't remember.
I would love to get down there. Like, Australia is on my bucket list because I want to go to the Australian Zoo and see Robert and Bindi and check out some of the haunted locations down there. But yeah, I would have to get my passport.
How did you like St. Augustine?
I love St. Augustine. Like it reminds me of like Virginia City or Tombstone. Like you're taken back into the time. Like the cobblestone roads, the forts, just like being back in that time. I love it.
I
I want to go back.
it is she says Australia.
Australia. I want to go. If I ever make it down there, we'll have to meet up.
I have a lady over at the VA that she's one of my people that I work with over there, and she's from us. She was in Australia for 8 years, and she's dying to go back. When I got out of the military, when I came back from overseas from Nam and that, I came home and I had the opportunity. My first job was with my father-in-law, and it was laying brick and that. And Australia actually gave everybody an opportunity. It was like they would give you 5 acres of land, a house,
Oh, wow.
and residency. And the only catch was you had to work when you were there. And it was like, and I was that close.
Wow.
And it would have been, I probably would have never came back here.
Right.
But, so the locations that you mentioned, all the locations, you've been very blessed in the respect. No, really, in the respect that you had this great opportunity that a lot of people haven't had. And what I want to ask is this question, and if you don't have to answer it if you don't want to. And that question is, with everything that you've done, why don't you have a book?
That would involve me to stay home and write a book. That would mean me having time to write a book, and my ADHD goes, "Oh, looky, shiny thing."
No. All you do is get a tape recorder and you just start putting your thoughts down.
Right. Yeah.
That to me would be a work of art because of all the places you've been to.
Right.
There's a lot of people that never have the opportunity that you've had to be able to see the things you have.
Right.
And that's really great. You've been really blessed in that respect.
Definitely.
I think your mother did a great job, and all the times that I saw her back in the day, and I haven't seen your mother probably 4 years now.
Yeah, because she wasn't at Upscur when you went in March because she was in Wisconsin.
Janesville, wasn't it?
Yeah, probably.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, but yeah, it's so you never know. You never know. Maybe I'll come out with a photography book instead with all the pictures.
Well, that would be really cool. One day we have to go ahead and compare apparitions.
Right. Like I have a really cool one from Eloise. Like during the day, I got a full body apparition at Eloise on Fit Photo. Also, I have a full body apparition down in Solitary. I have a feeling like something in me somebody's telling me like when I go to Creston in July out in Pennsylvania, I'm going to capture something out at Creston because I just have a feeling.
Have they ever played with you, like in other words, on your camera? This happened to me, where on your timeline you shoot so many pictures, and where a certain location should be by your investigation.
Right.
So then what happened was I went ahead and got home and went ahead and put them on the computer and went through all of them. And the picture, the apparition that I caught was the very last one on all the film or on the computer. But in the timeline, it was midway. So somebody moved it.
Right.
Has that ever happened to you?
Like my cameras died on me when it's a full battery. Like when I went to Broadhead to film with Larry and Dan, I had 4 batteries. They were all fully charged. As soon as I stepped into the building, they were dead. So like my photography I take now is with my Samsung Galaxy. Like all of my photography is mostly from my phone. But because right now my phone takes better pictures than my camera, and I don't have to lug around a heavy duty camera.
Right.
Which is nice because then I can edit them right away, do that minimum editing, and post them right to Facebook, and people buy them up real fast. Like previously, before October, I would never have sold my photography, and then Billy Atkins, who owns Breaking Fate Entertainment, Mr. Billy's Dark Arts and Oddities, Obscura Riches and Wellness, opened his shop in DeKalb, and he said, "You should sell some of your photography in my shop." And I said, I looked at him, I'm like, no one's gonna freaking buy it. What are you talking about? And I gave him a bunch of photos, 4x6s, 8x10s, and they sold so quickly. So now I'm doing canvas prints. I've done 5x7s, and he keeps telling me it is probably one of his high selling items is my photography in the store. So I started selling it on Facebook, and people are buying it left and right. So I must be doing something good because people are buying all my photography.
Yeah, I've seen some of your work, and I know it's every bit as good as what the money's where the money's going to a good place.
Right.
Number one. I mean, it's something else, and I know that Willie is a guy. I haven't had him. I've never had him on the show.
You should definitely get him on. He is
know.
a filmmaker, a photographer, a dark arts and oddities collector. He is a store owner now.
We met a couple times, long time ago, and I never got him on the shows. So
you should definitely. I love him. He was one of the very first people I met in this field, so he is one of my closest, bestest friends ever. I actually help him with Obscura Paracon, which will now be next year's the next one. It is March 20th and 21st, and Outshid Hall in DeKalb, Illinois. We have Riches and Wellness coming up in July on the 11th and 12th at the same venue in DeKalb. So that one is going to be more witchy, more pagan, more metaphysical, spiritual. Some of our guest speakers at that one will be Diet Renee, Christina Bloom, Kat Armstrong of I can't think of Hair Exposures. We have Becky Costello, I can never say her last name, will be a speaker.
Costello?
Yeah, Costello. We have Jessie Hawthorne coming. She'll be doing a sound bath. We do have some paranormal people mixed into that event. Gary Eisler will be speaking more on the metaphysical aspect of things. But that will be a fun event. And then in December, we have his Dark Arts and Oddities event. I want to say November 14th and 15th. It's the weekend before that big Crypticon in Chicago. I can't think of it.
Down there with
Days of the Dead. Days of the Dead.
Is that Jack Chavez's?
No, Days of the Dead is the big cop.
That big one.
Yeah. Yep. So Dark Arts and Oddities is November 14th and 15th in DeKalb. So if you're in DeKalb, close by Chicago area, check out those events coming up. But yeah, like I'm now working with Willie to do social media and helping with him all these events. So he's less stressed out, but I'm helping him now. So you'll be seeing me a lot more in Chicago area very soon.
That's great. Got a lot up here. I'm right up by the border anyway, by Wisconsin.
Yeah. He's like an hour from the Wisconsin border. It takes me 5 hours to get down there, or I fly into O'Hare.
Okay.
But I will be down there a lot. So if you are in the area, go check out his shop, Mr. Billy's Dark Art and Oddities. It is in DeKalb, right on Lincoln Highway, right by the Walgreens in DeKalb.
So my last, real fast, just the last question would be, have you been in the Egyptian theater there?
I actually just did my first one during Obscura Paracon.
How did you like it?
I loved it. We were down in the basement where the changing rooms are for the actors and whatever.
Yeah.
And we, like, in the women's bathroom, we even asked the worker who was working there that night, does this banging happen often? He goes, no. Like, we were getting responses by banging in the women's bathroom to our questions, and it was insanely loud, like really loud. We were seeing shadows going down the walkways in the theater. So I want to definitely get back there and do a private investigation because that place is crazy. Like, I've been to DeKalb multiple times, but I've never investigated that place. So I want to go back for a private. But also, October 17th, I will be doing a public investigation event at Conover Square in Oregon, Illinois.
Okay.
9 p.m. to, I want to say 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. is our event at Conover Square, which, if you know anything about Conover, it is a great location. It is like an antique mall, but it's very, very, very haunted. So I will be doing a public investigation with Willie at that event or that location that day. So if you're in Illinois, check out that event too.
So where can everybody go ahead and get a hold of you?
Facebook, Unturned Pages, which is on Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern.
I apologize. We never talked about your podcast.
Yeah, so my podcast is Unturned Pages. You can look it up on Facebook. We are 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central on Sunday nights. We talk about metaphysical, paranormal, spiritual, true crime, cryptozoology, anything and everything. My co-hosts are Derek and Alicia McFadden. We make a great team. We're super excited to be together doing this. We have had some amazing guests. We have some more amazing guests coming up this year. You can check out our Linktree as well for all the social medias for that. If you want to listen to previous episodes, you can check us out on Spotify.
Jenny, thank you very much for being here. It's been awesome. I really loved having you on. This was something long overdue, and for that I apologize.
No, you're good.
No, I think you're just splendid.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Okay, and you guys have a great evening and a great weekend. Okay.
Yes,
enjoy
you too.
And thank you very much for being here.
Yep, always.
Okay, we'll see you later on. Have fun.
Yes, bye.
Bye-bye.